as a stateless people. And what's happened? 1982, law was introduced by General Deng Nguyen. That law deprived basic fundamental rights of the Rohingya. That law violates international customary law. Because of that law, I am not a citizen of Burma. Because of that law, millions of Rohingya in Burma, they are not citizens. So we have seen 1988 uprising in Burma. When 1988, September 18, military coup power again, they stepped up another plan. And 1988-82 law was systematically they implemented 1989. Rohingya, we have my father and everyone, we had NRC. They taken away our NRC and they given us white card, which is neither citizenship nor foreign. So they started implementing 1982 law. Rohingya were not given citizenship card, which is national scrutiny card. And I have seen, I was in Arkan state that time, they started up restriction of movement, restriction on marriage, restriction on education, confiscation of land. When I was in Arkan state, like I couldn't go to one place to another. Like from Butidong to Sitwe, if we need to go, we need to get a pass, it takes like 2 to 3 days. You have to give a bribe. For example, if you want to travel from LA to San Diego, you need to get a pass. Even though your grandfather, your mother, your grandfather, serious illness facing, you cannot visit, you cannot see them. You must get from government authorities, you must get approval. I passed through that. And as a Rohingya, I couldn't go to the university, even though I passed matriculation in Burma. Thousands of Rohingya who passed matriculation, their lives been destroyed. They couldn't go to the university, their lives been ended up after they passed O-level. We've been seeing that since 1995. When I was in Arkan state, I have seen my brother's friends, when they want to get married, they need to get a pass. And it takes 2 to 3 years for the marriage application. You know, you can get that marriage application after providing a big bribe. It's about $1,000 US, where general Rohingyas, they can't provide. Very few Rohingyas, they can provide that bribe. So many Rohingyas, when I was in Arkan state, we have seen they marry separately. No, they can't wait for 2 to 3 years because, you know, it's a marriage application is pending 2 to 3 years, so they just marry separately. And government found out they sentenced to jail, 5 to 7 years. It's been mentioned, former UN Special Reporter Thomas Cantana in his report in 2010. In Butidong jail, you can see all the prisoners were arrested, sentenced, they married separately and because of alleged marriage. That is what former UN Special Reporter mentioned. For the Rohingyas in Arkan state, when I was in Arkan, I have seen my father's own land being confiscated by the military. And they brought non-Rohingyas. And many Rohingyas' land has been confiscated. That is what I have seen when I was in Arkan. And you can see now, they strip of our ethnic rights, they strip of our citizenship rights. They impose restriction on movement, restriction on marriage, restriction on education, confiscation of lands, and the people being fled again in 1992, you know. That time Rohingya were repatriated back again. That was second time. And what's happened? If we look back, so-called reform came in Burma in 2010, where former President Tun Khin came to power. USDP, military-backed USDP government came to power, we have seen. Anti-Rohingya campaign was spread up everywhere. In Sittwe, Butidong, Maungdaw, Mandalay, Rangoon, many cities, anti-Rohingya. These are illegal immigrants. We must drive them out. There is no Rohingya. And they've been released a book which is called Pisama Rawun. Pisama Yawu, the book they published, the military, the police officer, and highly respected Buddhist monks been signed there, and they released that. This is a plan that, these Rohingya, so-called Rohingyas, illegal immigrants, they want to take over our country. That is the way how systematically they spread up anti-Rohingya campaign. As a result of that, what we have seen in 2012, a state-organized violence by, former military government. And we have seen in Sittwe, 140,000 Rohingya become IDPs. Their houses been burned down, they pushed them to the camps. And humanitarian aid was blocked. If you look further, what's happened on that time? In 2012, July 11, President Tun Khin met, current UN Secretary General. At that time, he was UN High Commissioner for Refugees. When he talked about the solution about Rohingya issue, he said there is no Rohingya in Burma. These are illegal immigrant Bengali people. The only solution is keeping them in the camps and sending them to the third countries. That is the systematic plan of long-time military regime now until today we have seen. So that plan was systematically good. So he mentioned with his own words to current Secretary General, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. So if you look at 2014 census, Rohingya were excluded. And 2015 election, the first time in history for the Rohingyas, since 1937, Rohingya were not allowed to vote and not allowed to be a member of parliament. That is what the first time politically Rohingya were not allowed to participate, to vote and to member of parliament. And what's happened in 2016 October, when Rohingya militants attacked, the military post, more than 100,000 Rohingya were driven them out. That time, thousands of Rohingya been killed too. And UN special reporter, Yang Hili mentioned, it was crime against humanity. She visited there. And we have looked at what's happened this side. NLD government. I'm sorry. NLD government, UN, Aung San Suu Kyi State Consular Office. This rape are not happened. There is fake rape. She defend the military. We have seen that time. So when we come back in 2017, August, 25th of August, when large exodus happened, she defended systematically the military. On that time, I was in Bangladesh, visited for 4 weeks last year. And thousands of Rohingya been killed. Thousands of Rohingya women been raped. And hundreds of children been burned alive. And hundreds of elderly men been burned alive. When I met the Rohingya victims, they told me, someone told me, is a Rohima Begum from Ratira. It's unspeakable, the situation. And when she saw the military rounded up her village in Retirong, like more than 20 trucks. And after they rounded up military coming in her village, and she saw, as soon as military entered, 8-year-old boy was knifed to death straight away. Then the military entered her house. She was raped more than 20 minutes. While she was facing rape, when she was raped by the military, another military was slaughtered her husband. And the other military tried to rape her, and she was managed to run away. She joined with other villagers and she came to Bangladesh. And one man told me from Tulatuli, he's about 65 years. And he saw with his own eyes his daughter was raped by the military, and his grandson, 2 years, was thrown to the fire and burned alive. And the other side, his compound is very big. The other side, his son was slaughtered, and he was hiding in one place. He just looking at that. Can you imagine what the situation he faced? And then when I was there, more than 4 weeks, hundreds of stories I heard. It's unspeakable. I don't know how to express that, honestly, myself. So that is what we have seen, mass killings. If you look at the genocide, as I mentioned earlier, they strip up our ethnic rights, citizenship rights, and impose restriction of movement, marriage, education, and create popular violence, and burn down our houses, and push us to the camps, and block the humanitarian aid. Finally, in 2017, they did mass killings, Rohingyas. According to some reports, reliable reports from Canada, more than 24,000 Rohingyas were killed. Burmese military and government, I would say here, the Aung San Suu Kyi role. Military and the government parallelly, systematically, hand in hand, they joined. And of course, this genocide was planned by the military. But NLD government have full responsibility because Aung San Suu Kyi defended the military. Everybody talk about she has no power. She has the power to defend these atrocities not happen. That is what we have seen her rule. And 2017, on her homepage, fake rape. These are fake news. That is how she distributed to the diplomats from her office. And she does not know why these people have been fled. Why I'm talking about, I campaigned for her in 2010 and 2009 and 2008. We campaigned for her release and other political prisoners. Rohingyas been supported more than 30 years for the human rights and democracy for Burma. Rohingya party were alliance with NLD. I remember when I talked with her in a phone conversation after she released 1 week after, she said that these are basic human rights issues. When democracy comes one day, everything will be fine. That is what her own words. So today I'm telling she is no hope for our country because she defends the military. She is not only defending the military as a constitutional issue, she is not raising about, and for the other peace process she is not talking about it. We can't see anything she is progressing for our country. We supported for the human rights and democracy for Burma. It's not about we support Suu Kyi. We as a leader of NLD government, we supported Daw Aung San Suu Kyi. But we supported the system. In Burma, the system is we are supporting the, as a leader of the, the person only. It's not about personal issue. It's about principle. And in Burma today, we have seen anti-Rohingya campaign is still spreading up. Everybody, because of her failure, people are talking about we stand with Suu Kyi. She knows what is happening. But unfortunately, she is taking side of the military. So for the international role, I want to bring out here. Internationally, we have seen Security Council have sat down many times. But we want to see concrete, resolution from Security Council. We want to see, a stronger action, which is practical action, can provide safety, security, and protection for the Rohingyas in Burma. Of course, we support ICC referral. We've been campaigning for it. We need more to do to support ICC in UN Security Council and other members. Military criminal Min Aung Hlaing, we must bring him to International Criminal Court. We will not forget. For myself, I've been in refugee camps many times. I remember my victims, my brothers and sisters, who told me their story. They say 3 words. We want justice. This is the word we cannot forget. As a Rohingya, we must bring him to International Criminal Court, including whoever supported this military. If Daw Aung San Suu Kyi, she has any, we can find out, we have to bring her to. We have to look at how she communicate by writing. Because military is telling is because of those who government gave the order. That we need to look at that point too, So we can't let them go. We are human beings. For the human rights and democracy in Burma, 1 million Rohingya will not sacrifice at all. We are human beings. We will do our best. So, my dear brothers and sisters, we support ICC. We welcome UN fact-finding mission report, 27th of October, 27th of August. It is a historical day for the Rohingya because we've been crying, we've been talking to the international community. This is genocide. Many years, they never listened to us. But finally, UN fact-finding mission found out it's a genocide. So the victims, whatever they say, this is true. We must bring now perpetrators to the ICC. We must bring them to the justice. And when we talk about justice, we cannot forget our 500,000 Rohingya brothers and sisters where their lives are at risk in Burma. We must look for what protection we can provide. We call in international community what mechanism they can have to protect 500,000 population in Burma. This is in our current state. This is very important issue too. And as the genocide victims, we have seen 700,000 Rohingya genocide survivors were fled to Bangladesh. We have to look at how we can build up, how we can empower our community. This is very important point. We cannot let Burmese government and military, they are destroying our community, but we cannot let them go. We have to take international communities this opportunity. We must build up our community. We must empower our community. One day we can be a part of in Burma society. So as we belong to Burma, we want to go back to Burma. So it is important. We have to rebuild our community. And I would like to express many thanks to all brothers and sisters for your solidarity, for your support for the Rohingya people. Also, I want to talk about here, when we see this genocide UN fact-finding report, it's not only for the Rohingyas. You know, this is time for other ethnic minorities, our brothers Rakhine, Karen, Shan, Shin, Shan, you know, all the ethnic minorities been facing many years under of this military regime. So it is time for all ethnic brothers and sisters to come forward to work with Rohingyas and to fight for justice for all the victims. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much.